Hello everybody and welcome. This is what I personally feel are must-watches on Netflix in the UK. Also though, movies that I also feel have maybe went under the radar and also need a little bit of loving. A nice quick five in no particular order. We have Million Dollar Baby. A very recent watch and a one I really wasn't expecting too much from, but damn, what a surprise hit. With a great cast, Hilary Swank, Morgan Freeman, Clint Eastwood. Think of it as a Rocky with a pretty shocking twist. I do have a review which I have done very recently, so I'll put it down in the description. So if you want to hear more on it, click on that video, but just absolutely watch this film. Okay, so next up we have Doctor Sleep. A pretty late sequel, it's fair to say, to the brilliant The Shining. Comes this sleeper hit from Mike Flanagan. Following a grown-up Danny Torrance who wants to forget the ghosts of his past. But this nightmare wants to play forever and ever. This film I really do feel is incredibly underrated. I absolutely loved this film when I went to see it in the cinema. Weirdly though, I didn't particularly like all that much when they returned to the hotel from The Shining. I feel it relied on that a little bit too much, but literally everything prior to that is absolutely fantastic. We've got Rebecca Ferguson here who, as the villain, Rose the Hat, is incredible and an absolute standout. There's many great scenes and some returning characters, but one of my favourite parts is with Rose the Hat and a new character, Abra, and it is so tense. And the score throughout that scene is just phenomenal. If you're a fan of The Shining and you haven't seen this film yet, you need to watch it. So next up we've got Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Coming from the Coen brothers, if you know their movies, it is the usual wacky, crazy film. I never even heard of this film until I was ill with that thing that shall not be named and stuck in a room with only Netflix to keep us occupied. I came across it, and with a cast like George Clooney, John Turturro, Tim Nelson and John Goodman, I thought I would give it a go. After escaping prison and on the run, these ex-cons face endless dangers, witching women, KKK members and an insane Bible salesman. Full of wacky characters, insane antics, this is a super fun watch to throw on. So, next, Love and Monsters. Starring Dylan O'Brien in this apocalypse comedy as the lonely, timid Joel, who embarks on this mission to get back with his girlfriend, but becomes so much more. Lovely story, great interesting characters who you meet on the journey, and also some crazy and sometimes really scary looking monsters. This is another fun and surprisingly beautiful time, and another well worth your watch. Because there is actually really quite a lot of good stuff on Netflix at the moment. Too many to talk so in depth on, so I'm going to hire in some honourable mentions here that are absolutely equally totally worth a view. Prisoners. If you love crime, drama, thriller, this is an absolute no-brainer. If you're a fan of things such as like Seven or Zodiac, this one you need to throw on right now. Fundamentals of Caring. If, like me, you're a Paul Rudd fan, you need to see this. A beautiful little gem of a film that will totally warm your heart. Employee of the Month. Fantastic film? No. However though, just some dumb fun. And if you're a fan of things like Clerks and just want a fun, simple comedy, look no further than this. Whiplash. A very tense movie about playing drums and becoming a jazz musician. Sound highly unlikely? Check this out and just see for yourself. Okay, last but certainly not least, we've got Blade Runner 2049. I know, huge Hollywood blockbuster film, underrated? It must be pretty rubbish then. Wrong. This film is an absolute sci-fi masterpiece that unfortunately flopped at the box office because people these days don't really like movies where you've got to follow and really think about what's going on. I could literally go all day on this film, so I'll try not to. But if you're a lover of sci-fi, cyberpunk aesthetic, twists, turns, an amazing story, you need to watch this film. I do have a review of the film, which if you want to hear more because it's quite another long one, I'll put it in the description so you can go and check that one out. But definitely do yourself a favour and go on this incredible journey. So that's all folks. If you also have recommendations on this subject, make sure you do put them down in the comments. I'm always on the lookout for these kind of movies. And have you seen any of those that have been mentioned? And if not, you have a great list here to dive deep into.